Japan's first hikikomori idol Sao Chan has gotten herself in huge trouble by fighting with the police and finally getting herself kicked out of her apartment.
私、斉藤ちゃん逮捕されました。
Even though she hadn't paid her rent for over 2 years, had completely destroyed her place by living with 20,000 cockroaches, and was threatened by all of her neighbors to be sued in public court, none of this was enough to get her kicked out of the apartment until now, when the police finally got involved and sent her to a detention center during one of her live streams. Or that's at least what she claims happened, but I believe I have figured out the real truth behind all of this. In case you've missed what has happened before, Sao Chan is a Japanese TikToker who became famous overnight for making videos where she showed off her apartment that was filled with cockroaches and trash. It didn't take long for people to figure out where she lived, and soon enough, strangers were harassing her in person, spray painting graffiti on her door, and prank calling the fire department to break into her apartment through the window.
嘘つくんてめえ何来たの今。何で来たのやめてよ。いや何すんの今。
The reason her landlord let this happen for such a long time, even though she hadn't paid her rent for years, was because in Japan, tenants have incredibly strong rights and evicting someone is a tough legal process that they most likely didn't want to go through, especially against a person with clear mental problems. But everything changed during one of her recent live streams when the police stepped in and detained her on camera. You see, after doing hundreds of videos out of her cockroach-filled apartment, Sao Chan realized that in order to keep people watching and donating to her, she had to up the ante and start doing stunts to keep the viewership up.
これさっきさお昼ご飯食べながらさザリガニ釣りしたのでそれでザリガニスープできたんだけどねほらザリガニスープこれどうすんのよこのザリガニスープ味見したどういうか何の話してんの
These stunts included such things as cooking meat with a hair iron, taping her eviction notices to her body while outside, and cutting her hair live on stream. Sao Chan realized that the last stunt of cutting her own hair seemed to attract a lot of viewers, so she decided to do it again. But this time only bigger and outside in the middle of Tokyo for more shock value. During her live stream, she went around Tokyo cutting her hair more and more with an electric hair clipper whenever viewers donated her on TikTok. Once the police saw her cutting her hair outside and acting suspicious, they went to check on her, worried that she might be carrying scissors, which, depending on their size, can be illegal to carry in Japan. But unsurprisingly, the situation escalated once Sao Chan started fighting back against the police and running away from them.
悪いことしないんですけど。悪いことしないのになんで足をかけられない。悪いことしないのになんで追いかけられないといけないんですか。びっくり。止まって。なんか触られなんか暴力振るわれた。私でも何も悪いことしてないのに。やめてお願いです。やめてください。止まって危ない。やめてください。お願いやめてください。やめて痛い。危ないもの持ってるかもしれないって疑い。バリカン見せました。バリカンだけなの？バリカンだけです。ハサミは？持ってないです。持ってないです。見せて。見せないといけないんですか？法律の義務ですか？義務とかじゃないから見せて。
A couple of days after the altercation with the police happened, Sao Chan started posting videos from what she claimed was a detention center, wearing a sweatsuit and saying she was kept there against her will for 17 days. The videos she posted from this room were essentially rage baits, where she claimed to have turned into a clean freak, refusing to use the water boiler because other people had used it before, choosing to instead cook her noodles with shower water. On another video, she tried cooking chicken inside the microwave, while once again refusing to touch anything because of bacteria. However, the moment I saw these videos, I quickly noticed that things seemed a bit weird. Now, I've never been inside a Japanese detention center myself, but even I could tell that this place didn't look right. All the food she ate there on the videos were something she would have had to get from a supermarket herself, which meant she wasn't actually being forced to stay there like she claimed she was. On top of this, no detention center in Japan would allow people to bring their own phones inside, especially to film TikTok videos. But the most damning evidence I found against her claims was that the bed in the room had a control panel that most love hotels in Japan have in order to control the lights and music of the room from the bed. With these clues, it was pretty clear to me that she wasn't actually being detained and was simply farming views by pretending she was.
私斉藤ちゃん人生初めに逮捕されました。そして17日間拘留されました。私斉藤ちゃん逮捕され警察官に怪我させられました。私斉藤ちゃん逮捕されました。私斉藤ちゃん逮捕され拘留所にさせられました。
But just because she was pretending to be detained doesn't mean she wasn't actually kicked out of her apartment completely. You see, ever since she got in trouble with the police, she hasn't been in her apartment once, and has only been posting videos of herself playing with her stuffed bear that are taken outside. Or she has uploaded old videos she had taken from inside her apartment before all of this happened. Looking at the timeline of everything that has happened, I strongly suspect that once she got in trouble with the police, they checked her background and found out she had multiple complaints against her from the neighbors, which caused the police to call her landlord, who finally decided to start taking legal action against Saikyo-chan now that she was in police custody. This most likely meant that she had to give away her keys to her apartment until the situation was resolved, which is why since then she has been living in different hotels around Tokyo. Now, whenever I talk about Saikyo-chan, I'm constantly conflicted with my feelings. There are things she has done that are objectively negative to everyone around her, and I've always felt that even if people have mental issues like she has, they are still, to some extent, responsible for the things they do. It makes me understand their actions more, but it doesn't excuse them. Still, I cannot feel anything else but deep sympathy whenever I see her playing with her stuffed animal. Right now, according to my calculations, she is probably not making more than $20 a day from TikTok, and even the money she gets from people every now and then most likely isn't enough to allow her to continue living in hotels for too long. However, at the moment, anything is better than her apartment, where she claims the roaches keep biting her when she sleeps, and she keeps getting her feet infected from the dirty ground. As of right now, Saikyo-chan's future is uncertain. And as much as I believe that it is beneficial for everyone that she has lost the access to her apartment, there is still one thing that I'm extremely worried about. The fact that Saikyo-chan has recently shown that she is willing to go further and further for donations makes me worried that now when she doesn't have access to her shocking apartment that she can use for content, she might spiral out of control trying to find new ways to attract viewers.